trim my trees. Okay, so hopefully you got that in camera, but that's really what I use this for a lot. Last minute man, and I'm out here today in my woods, and we are doing a chapter 2 on my Condor heavy duty Kukri. Now I've had this thing for a little over a year now, and I have gotten to use it quite a bit. And as I stated before in my previous video, I don't like to do a full review until I've had a little bit of experience with something. So now that I do, stick around. We're going to talk about this here blade. Okay, so first things first, we'll keep my ugly mug out of the frame here. I just want to show you this beautiful blade. And I have been using this thing for about the last year for my general purpose, going out in the woods and banging around, processing firewood, you know, trimming grapevines and things like that in my woods. And my initial concern with this blade was sharpening it. I thought, you know, I'm going to get this thing, it's going to be difficult for me to sharpen. You know, it was just another thing I had to add to my wheelhouse. I learned how to put an edge on a convex blade. And I got a leather strop from Amazon and got some lapping compound. And it was just trial and error and practice. And I think I got it down to getting a good working edge. And it does. I mean, this edge works good. It held up great. The durability of the finish wasn't great, but I wouldn't expect that with a high carbon steel blade. And these are made in El Salvador. This thing's just been awesome. I mean, I just really enjoy it. Everything from processing firewood to, you know, cutting down even something this big. And I'll do this here in the camera. All right, so sorry about amateur hour there, guys, but you missed that entire cut. All you saw was me swinging. So I'm going to cut this other cedar down here and let you see kind of, this is a little more gnarly of a tree, but hopefully this gets in camera here so you can kind of see how it chops. And I'm not taking big wide swings here. I'm just taking little chops at it. She works. So a lot of what I do with these trees kind of give you a first person view here, you know, when you run through the woods. And but a lot of what I do is coming through and trimming a path. You know, you got these limbs that kind of grow out, and so I'll trim a path. And as you can tell, I don't like cedar, and reason being I've got an apple orchard, so I'll come through here just, and for those of you who don't know, cedar is not good for apple trees. So see if you can actually see this first person. Of course, I can't get a good swing on things. It's working a little more difficult than it should, but kind of give you a different perspective, and so you can see how this thing cuts. And I am back with my after action report, and my report today is good. I love this blade. I've been using it for the better part of a year. It works great. As far as a bushcraft knife, it is adequate in every way. As far as a chopper, it is second to none. I think really it's purpose built for chopping. That, you know, I know it's combat efficacy. There's a history with this being used in combat. This is not something I'd want to be lugging with me. Like I did, unfortunately, over in Afghanistan. I did carry a Marine Raider Bowie with me, the SP-10. And you're talking a 16-ounce hunk of steel. There were missions I did not bring that knife. I used an SE5 mostly, actually, over there. But the big knives got a lot of conversation, got a lot of looks. The locals really loved them, so I did like carrying the larger knife. The kids loved it, believe it or not. Nobody was afraid of you carrying a big knife. They thought it was cool. They thought it was neat. They wanted to see it. And it was a conversation piece more than anything. But I think this would work well in that environment also. It is a conversation piece. It is I think a attractive blade. My biggest concern with it was sharpening it. I'm glad that I learned how to do it. It's another thing, like I said, for your wheelhouse. It's not difficult to put an edge on once you've learned how to do it. It's just overall, I really am partial to this as far as carrying it for a bushcraft knife. Now, if I'm going on a hiking trip, you know, like I did this last summer with my nephew, we hiked Mount LeConte and we did like a 15-mile trek, which going up and down mountains is, you know, you're hoofing it. And even when I was in great shape, these can get cumbersome when you're carrying a lot of weight. Ounces equal pounds. But if I'm going to a base camp or something like that, and I'm processing firewood for the camp, and I'm going to be within a general, you know, 5-mile radius or something, I think this is a great knife. I think they're neat. They work excellent. It takes the place of a small hatchet. I personally feel better with it than I do a hatchet. I feel like it's more versatile, but that's me. There's a lot of people out there that do not see eye to eye on that, and I understand different strokes. But let's talk about the sheath a little bit, and I'll come a little closer with this. But this sheath is excellent. I mean, it's well, the stitching on it and everything is excellent. And I do carry this on my side, rain or shine, when I'm out here doing bushcraft style stuff. And believe it or not, I do it quite a bit. I really do enjoy being out in the woods, and it's usually me and the dog. But yeah, this is an excellent sheath. The only thing I have done with this, I treat it with animal tallow, and I do that just to keep the leather feeling nice and soft, and waterproof it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's held up very well. You wouldn't know I've carried it as much as I have, but the blade looks like it's in worse shape than the sheath, which is a rare thing. but I probably don't oil this as much as I should. I use vegetable oil on it, mostly because if I do have to use it to process, I mean, could you imagine gutting a deer with this? But you know, when push comes to shove, I just don't like using toxic things on my blades, so, or my leather for that matter. So I try to use vegetable oils or animal products, things like that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about this, or if I didn't cover something that you thought I should have, let me know. I will say, working as a draw knife, this thing works great. I've used it for that. I've made some walking sticks and things like that, and it does an excellent job. You know, just, you know, hanging on. You know, you hang on with your feet and you draw it towards you. But it works great for that. You know, the wood grips, they're a little slippery, so if you are swinging it a lot, doing things like that, it's probably a good idea to have a lanyard there just so you don't lose it. I'm wearing gloves right now. It's actually really easy to hold on to with these, but this can get slippery if your hands get wet, things like that. I mean, it is, I believe it's just hickory or something on there. Could be maple, I don't know. But yeah, overall though, guys, this is a good knife, and I would recommend it for anybody interested in bushcraft, or if you're just a knife collector. It's a cool thing to have in your knife collection. And I think this is a really good specimen. It's well made. The steel's excellent, easy to sharpen for me anyway. I took right to it like a duck in water. But yeah, it's excellent. You know, I can't say enough good about it. The negatives are very marginal, and it's really just opinion based. You know, I think a lot of the negatives people do have on it, I think it's just personal preference and opinion. But with that, everybody, remember, keep your knives sharp, keep your powder dry, subscribe to Last Minute Man, and comment below and tell me what you think about the Condor Heavy Duty Kukri.